In today's episode of the Kirk Miller Podcast, I'm going to be taking you through my top 10 food questions that I get asked on a regular basis. And just like I've done on a previous episode where I went through the top 10 training questions, I'm going to keep this within 10 minutes the moment I ask myself the first question. Now, to be transparent, I could probably do a full episode on every single one of the questions today and probably have covered some of this in previous podcast episodes and certainly will cover any that I haven't covered in depth in future episodes. But I just wanted to do a really clean, simple episode that just tells you with brutal straight talk my immediate answers to the most common questions. Because I think with food, a lot of people look for the magic answers and quick fix and you know, these guru answers. A lot of the time it's just not needed and it's just absolute bullshit. So I'm going to be painting with clear, logical answers to the most common questions to do with food. Number one is, what do I personally eat and what is my diet? I've been in shape now for 25 years. Obviously, people pay me money to do the same, so I know a thing or two about food. But for me, I'll just focus on really simple principles. I make sure I eat enough protein per day, so I eat approximately 1 gram of protein per pound of my body weight. So it's anywhere from 160 grams of protein up to 180, 190 at most. I eat plenty of real food. Around 90 to 95% of my food is real, wholesome food. I barely touch processed food and I barely touch added sugar food. By default, I'm able to eat more food volume per calorie, which is a much more sustainable way to getting and staying in shape, training hard, optimizing energy, you know, as opposed to eating significantly lower percentage of real food. So I use principles and eat minimum 300 grams of veggies a day, eat fruit, not rocket science, and it's as simple as that. Next question is, how many meals a day should I be eating per day? Now, the frequency is based on your individual lifestyle. You know, you must have a frequency that complements your day, not contradicts it, otherwise you simply won't stick to it. There's no right or wrong. I've dramatically reduced my meal frequency from 6 meals a day many years ago to now 2 meals a day plus a shake, because that complements my lifestyle right now. But you need to find a frequency that works for you. For me, you need to identify within your day, how many times a day can I mindfully eat, chew my food, and get good nutrition in, all right? And you might have a different strategy during the week. You might have a different strategy during the weekend, okay? But the most important thing is identifying what am I actually going to stick to. All I would say is the lower the meal frequency, say if it's 2, you're more likely to overinge and you're going to struggle to get your protein in across the day. So you might have to supplement with a shake if it was 2 meals like me, okay? Number 3 is, how can I eat out and get lean? Now, this is such a broad question, but if you want to eat out regularly and get lean, you have no choice but to forward plan, forward pick your menus, basically manipulate your calories across your week. Because you're going to have some days, especially if you're eating out, where you need to allow more buffer for calories on these days. So if you're eating out regularly, on those days, you need to allow for more calorie allowance. What's going to allow you to do that is you need to identify what is my approximate weekly calorie target and how can I manipulate my calories so I'm eating more food on the days where I like to eat more and I'm eating out. And then something has to give if you're trying to get and stay lean on the days around you're eating out. So you'd have to eat lower calories, of course. Now, one thing I would do, if you are eating out regularly and you're having lower calories on certain days, never drop your protein. Make sure your protein target is the same, irrelevant, because it will prevent overeating on the days you have lower calories. Next question is, I'm traveling and I'm in hotels. What should I eat? You need to forward plan again. When you are traveling, you're in hotels, you're at airports, you have no choice but to forward plan, forward pick. What are my options? What are the best choices? So you're not making reactive decisions when you're at airports, you're at hotels, etc. And to simplify it even more, operate with principles. Whether you're in a hotel, you're at an airport, I break it down this simply. How am I going to get my protein in? How am I going to get plenty of real food? And how can I minimize added sugar? Even if you focus on those 3 principles, you're going to manage your calorie quantity. If you're eating more real food, you're eating good protein, okay, and it's going to prevent overeating, all right? But you can't go really wrong with those 3 principles. Next question is, how many calories should I eat? Now, it really depends on your goal. if you're trying to add size, you need to eat more calories. If you're trying to drop weight, you need to eat less calories than maybe what you currently are. And if you're trying to maintain weight, you need to have maintenance calories. But before all of that, you need to have an awareness of what your current calorie intake is. And what I recommend is you track your food for a minimum week, ideally 2 weeks, so you've got enough data to really see what's going on with your body weight in relation to your food. If after a week to 2 week period, however long you choose, you're holding weight, then you know whatever the calories and the total food quantity is, that's your maintenance. If you're putting on weight, then you're obviously in a surplus, which is obviously a contributing factor towards adding size. And if you're dropping weight, you know you're in a calorie deficit, okay? But for me, if you are trying to drop body fat, body weight, and you're at the start of your journey, look to have a certain calorie deficit from your current quantity of around 200 calories per day. Next question is, how do I eat more protein? How do I eat more protein? For me, a really, really simple and logical way of getting more protein in is look at the current sources of protein you're currently having, look at the current portions of protein you're having, and if you're not hitting your protein target, simply eat bigger portions of that protein source. Sounds very logical to do, but a lot of people simply don't do it. It's not complicated, because if you're not eating enough protein, you're only going to binge on carbs, snacks, sugars. It's the most thermogenic macronutrient, so you need to eat, plenty of protein. And what I would do, if you're struggling to get your protein target in from solid food, simply supplement it with a protein shake a day. For example, 2 scoops of protein, around 50 grams of protein per day. That's 50 grams off your total target for the day. You can make the rest up with solid food. Number 7, I don't have time to prep food. What should I do? This is just logic. If you don't have time to prep food, or you don't like doing it, then you're never ever going to stick to it. You have no choice but to outsource your food. It's what I do. I don't want to waste time on prep because my time is more valuable on other things. Outsource your food. Yes, it might cost you money, but it'll buy you back time to channel your energy, no doubt, into things you like doing more, okay? Which for a lot of business owners, of course, is focusing on business. And then if you're eating out on the go, forward plan, forward pick. If you're having meetings and you're at restaurants and stuff like that, forward plan, forward pick. But you have no choice to outsource your food if your lifestyle doesn't complement the fact that you can't sit and prep your food. Next question is, I'm not losing weight quick enough and I'm hungry. What should I eat? If you're not losing weight quick enough and you're consistently hungry, that tells me you're probably eating too much processed food, minimal protein, and lots of added sugar, because they're hyperpalatable foods. They give you minimal food volume per calorie. And when you're trying to get lean, don't forget, you're on restrictive calories, and deep down you probably want to eat. So the last thing you want to do is overeat processed food and added sugar food. So if you find you're still not losing weight quick enough, but you're still hungry, you're obviously eating foods that take seconds to eat, but they're enormous amounts of calories, and it leaves you wanting more. And this is where added sugar for me is the biggest culprit of that. So what I would recommend is focusing on basics, eat more real food, hit your protein target, chew your food, and if you struggle with controlling your calories, optimize your output by moving more, training harder, so you are going to create more of an allowance for energy and basically food volume that your body can handle in complementary towards your goals. The next one is, I'm in a calorie deficit but not dropping weight. What should I do? If you are saying you're in a calorie deficit but you're not dropping weight, you're not in a calorie deficit, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat this. If people aren't dropping weight, they're not in a calorie deficit. You might be eating less calories than perhaps previously, but if you're not dropping weight, you're not in the calorie deficit you think you are. So that's why you need to go back to basics and ruthlessly evaluate everything you're putting in your mouth, when it comes to tracking your calories. And you do that through a coaching app such as MyFitnessPal, which you can evaluate everything you put in your mouth. If you're unsure how much to log a food, overestimate by 10, 20%, because most people underestimate. And if you can't be bothered to use a food tracking app, you have no choice but to take pictures of your food or do a food diary so you can evaluate everything you put in your mouth. Because a lot of people simply forget or conveniently choose to log Monday to Thursday / Friday and forget the weekends, or just forget dips, sauces, etc. And the last one, what food should I eat? What's the best diet for me? Well, for me, if the diet has a name on it, you're probably on borrowed progress. For me, the best food method, the best food management strategy is the one you actually stick to, which is going to be either tracking calories, meal plan, outsourcing, or habits and guidelines, okay? So you need to identify what is the one that deep down in my heart I can see myself sticking to, and then identify the foods you like, and factor, the proteins you like, the carbs you like, your fats you like, and that are healthy in the majority of food, okay? And you'll find it a lot easier to stick to. And lastly is eat more foods that give you energy, because when you eat more foods that give you energy, you're less likely to binge and overeat. And it's as simple as that. So there's my 10 questions. There's my 10 answers. I hope that's helped you.